Smith. So Nico Young, 2 races, 2 wins this weekend. How are you feeling about that?
Oh my goodness, so happy for Nico. He's just been such a tremendous guy for our program, and he's been such a team guy. You know, when you get a huge recruit like that at a high school, you know, it's in other sports, right? It's, you know, they make promises about all their individual accolades. At NAU, we make promises about buying into team, and he's just always been on board for that. And he's been second and third, and all these things. And so just seeing him in this moment is very, very special, and I'm very, very happy for Nico.
What's changed from previous seasons? He seems unbeatable now.
Sometimes it just takes sometimes it just takes that long. You know, it's I'm always kind of in my head as a coach thinking about strength and speed, and sometimes what we see at the end of races is someone's just not strong enough to access their speed. You know, he's now strong, and he's always had this leg speed, but you've got to be strong enough to access it. And so in some ways what looks like is this speed is there's less damage accrued by the late stages of these races, and he can actually get into his leg speed now. But also mechanically, he's just putting so much force down into the ground. If you can hear it in his strike, and yeah, he's confident too. I mean, that's confident. Nico Young is scary, man. The stuff he says to me, I'm like, yeah, he's confident.
He said even he doesn't understand the mechanical changes that he's done, but maybe you do. So maybe you can explain like what has changed with him.
Yeah, you know, they're you don't have all day here, but all their slower aerobic running, you know, their foot just drops, and you're trying to teach them to get their foot down and punch the ground and get the force back from it. And so once you can capitalize on that, big things happen. And so that was the big thing we've been working on for a long time with Nico, and you know, we've made some good headway with that. And so yeah, he's when you see him move, I mean, he says to me, he feels like he's got gears on top of gears on top of gears. For so many distance runners, kicking is one thing. Kicking is black or white. And what you're trying to build is a series of gears like a bicycle. And he's got those now. So he can move off on an already fast pace. And in championship racing, that's really helpful. So.
Are we going to see him in the 10 this weekend?
You know, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it for sure. Yeah, what an answer, huh? We're going to talk about it. I've got like this little voice on, you know, got like the angel and the devil, right? And Nico, of course, wants to do everything, but that's the problem with these guys is when you're on top and excited, you just want to do everything. And sometimes it's what you say no to, too. So the problem with the damn 10 is it's so hard to get those opportunities, you know? So it does help that we're flying back that way, but yeah, we gotta talk about it. So.
Yeah, because he said he wants to run the 10K at the trials, and if you don't have the standards, like, what's the point?
Exactly, right. Why are you gonna do that, right? I know. Yeah, it's just so hard to go get, and when is it set up in that way? And he's ready for it. It's just the time. I wish we had one more weekend. You know, that would be ideal. So I don't know if we call Jesse one more weekend.
Colin had a great breakout season. What did you see out of him this weekend that you liked?
You know, it's a lot of these guys, you know, in high school, they just have clean track, and they're just, you know, they've not been in championship situations like this. We just need to get Colin in more of these, you know. Yeah, they're throwing them around there, they're hitting them, all these things. It's like we just need to get comfortable in those situations. So they don't know it at their age. But it's like stuff like this weekend is how you become a champion later. You got to get into situations like this and to learn the game. And running, time trialing, clean track, that's not what this game is. We got to learn how to race. And so that's the biggest thing for a young guy like Colin is let's get in these championship situations when everybody can close and problem solve, figure it out. So I know it's so good for his development, but he's a champion, and he's frustrated in the moment, and so I understand that. He doesn't like getting sixth, but that's how it goes.
How are you managing this? Like last weekend, you had Nikki in Glasgow, you had Rachel running in Jacksonville, now you go to NCAA. It's like, how do you stay on top of it?
Got good athletes that don't need their hands held and know how to execute, whether their coach is standing there or not. And yeah, I think that's one of the greatest things you can teach them as athletes is they need us way less than they think they do, but they need to know that. And you got to be able to stand there. And Nikki might slightly care their coach is there, but barely, because they're going to do what they're going to do no matter what.
Let's say those NCAAs this weekend, and Nico is just running a 10K time trial. What can he run?
He definitely can run. He definitely can run right around 27 minutes. I'm confident of that. This is we live in Flagstaff, and they're aerobically trained. He's in a really good place for a 10,000 right now. I mean, anything from a mile to a 10,000, 800 to a 10,000 is a really good place. So, yeah, very, very happy for him.
You talked about Nico's confidence, and you brought up like other sports. If it was any other sport, people would have been talking like, "Oh, when's this guy going to win? When's this guy going to win?" What do you do to instill that confidence in him in those conversations? I know you're famous to say like you remove the outcome and you don't talk about the outcome, but when Nico finishes second and like multiple times, what do you talk to Nico to instill this confidence?
Yeah, when you're not confident, this is if you're a high school athlete, remember what I'm about to say. When you're not confident, right, or you're really nervous, you're oftentimes thinking about what's going to happen instead of what you're going to do. And we just try to bring our athletes to be focused on what they're going to do, what's in their control. And when you grow confidence inside what you're going to do instead of what's going to happen, then you realize it's all inside you. And so I think just making sure we're not talking about the wrong things. We're not sitting around talking about winning. We never once talk about winning NCAAs for this guy. We won 2 of them, but we spend a lot of time talking about what you're going to do inside the 13 minutes or the 7 minutes, and that's when you're confident in those things, everything changes. So I feel like a good coach is trying to just show them, make them aware of what's already inside them, and Nico's had it since he was a sophomore in high school, and just can't forget it. So, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. All right.